up, you guys? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Maddison Hill, and yes, it is time for an impromptu pop-off with Maddison. So typically on Tuesdays, I don't do a pop-off. It's my day to catch up on other things. But today, we have different plans because there have been some major updates in the Tristan Thompson versus Kimberly Alexander situation. Now, if you guys don't remember who Kimberly Alexander is, she is the woman who has been claiming since last year that Tristan Thompson is the father of her child. She claims they hooked up during his rookie season. Tristan Thompson says that he already took a DNA test once and it came back negative. Kimberly Alexander is the one who says, I'm sorry, no, I don't believe those DNA results. I think there were some shenanigans with the DNA testing lab. It's been a whole situation and a half. And now, as of today, Tristan Thompson is speaking out for the first time about this situation. And we also have a number for how much he is suing her for in his libel lawsuit against her that he started last year. And on top of that, despite Tristan Thompson coming for Kimberly Alexander legally, she is not backing down at all. She called him out on her social media. She called Khloe out on her social media. There's a lot happening, and I could not wait to sit down in front of this camera and talk to you guys about it. I couldn't wait until tomorrow. Now, for those of you who haven't seen an impromptu pop-off before, I typically do these without any notes, so sometimes they can feel a little all over the place, but this is what happens when there's information that I just want to get to you guys as soon as possible. We're still going to unwrap the facts. I'm still going to give you my opinion, all of that good stuff. So now that you know what to expect, let's go ahead and get into this Tristan Thompson and Kimberly Alexander piping hot tea and start unwrapping these facts. All right, so for those of you who need a little refresher again as to who Kimberly Alexander is, like I said earlier, she is the woman who made claims last year that Tristan Thompson is the father of her son. Tristan Thompson did take a DNA test. It came back negative. However, Kimberly Alexander claimed that Khloe and her family, aka the Kardashians, had ties to this DNA testing lab, and she didn't believe that the results were legitimate. Now, when Kimberly Alexander came out with all of this information last year, when she was claiming that Tristan Thompson's the father of her son, she was saying that he's a deadbeat dad. When all this happened, Tristan Thompson and his attorneys filed a libel lawsuit against her. Actually, it was in May of last year, so pretty much a year ago at this point. Now, in this libel lawsuit, Tristan's attorneys claimed that Kimberly Alexander was maliciously accusing Tristan of being a, quote, deadbeat dad. They also pointed out that Tristan Thompson did take a DNA test that came back negative. They also denied that Tristan Thompson, Khloe Kardashian, or anyone else that Kimberly Alexander mentioned had anything to do with the DNA results and that they did not tamper with them in any way. I will also never forget this. In this libel lawsuit that Tristan Thompson's attorneys drew up, they also quoted Michael Jackson and said, quote, to quote Michael Jackson, this kid is not his son. Now, according to these original court documents, Tristan Thompson was seeking damages to, quote, set an example of defendants and to deter such conduct in the future, aka he didn't want any other women coming forward and claiming that he's the father of their kids. Also at this time, the letter was sent to Kimberly Alexander, obviously informing her of what was going on, and it also asked her to, quote, immediately stop defaming Khloe and Tristan with malicious defamatory lies and specious fabrications. In this libel lawsuit, Tristan's attorneys also accused Alexander of, quote, wanting her 15 minutes of fame, and they said that if she didn't stop talking about Tristan and Khloe, that she will soon find herself, quote, in court facing multi-million-dollar claims. Now, despite Tristan and his attorneys filing this libel lawsuit against Kimberly Alexander last year and telling her to stop talking about Tristan Thompson or she's going to be sued for a lot of money, she has not backed down one bit. She has been adamant on her social media that she's telling the truth and that Tristan Thompson is the father of her son. She also more recently got involved with the current cheating scandal that's happening right now between Tristan Thompson and Instagram model Sydney Chase. If you remember when Sydney Chase posted the messages that Khloe Kardashian was sending her, Kimberly Alexander took to her Instagram to call it Khloe Kardashian personally. She said, at Khloe Kardashian, I think you're messaging the wrong person. Come here, sis. We got lots to talk about. Remember you said True needs more siblings? Well, she got 2 and maybe 1 on the way. I got T-poo. She followed that up with, I will not post our conversation, sis. You can even text me on Snap. Let's put this behind us like grown woman. Oh, and stop worrying about that little girl because it's many of them giving me receipts in my DMs at this point. Leave, sis, but call me. Clearly, you get the picture. She's not afraid of Tristan Thompson's legal threats. Now, for that fresh tea I have for you guys, now it is being reported that Kimberly Alexander failed to turn up to a court hearing in this libel case, despite being served a notice, and now she's going to be hit with a default judgment. According to the Daily Mail, what this means is that a judge will now set a hearing to determine how much Tristan Thompson is going to be awarded in this libel lawsuit. Apparently, Tristan Thompson has requested $100,000 in damages, plus additional costs, which are probably his lawyer fees. According to legal documents obtained by The Blast, Tristan Thompson also included a declaration in his filing, and this is where he is speaking out for the first time against Kimberly Alexander's claims in his own words. In this declaration, Tristan Thompson said, quote, "I am the father of 2 young children. I love my children and take my responsibilities as a father extremely seriously. I am involved in my children's lives and proud to have close relationships with my children and to provide for their needs financially and otherwise." He went on to once again bring up that DNA test that came back negative and said that he is not the father of Kimberly Alexander's son. Tristan Thompson continued saying, quote, "For Miss Alexander to falsely state that I am the type of man who would neglect his parental duties hurts me emotionally and is incredibly damaging to my reputation." He's referring to when she called him a deadbeat dad on social media. He went on to say, quote, "Most of my professional contracts, including my contracts to play with the NBA, gives them the right to terminate my contract in the event I engage in certain behavior or conduct that may cast the team or the brand in a negative light publicly." He went on to point out that he has potentially lost endorsement deals and other brand contracts as he has been publicly portrayed as a troubled athlete with whom companies do not want to associate with or have them represent their brand. Now, like I said, despite Kimberly Alexander potentially having to go to court and pay Tristan Thompson $100,000, she is not backing down at all. She posted a picture of the TMZ article on her Instagram with the caption, "Beady, you have a whole other scandal out here, but I wrecked your pay. 80 mil doesn't sound like I did. Anyways, at Khloe Kardashian, please get your man to take that second test his team kept denying. What's done in the dark will come to light." So yeah, I have so many thoughts and feels about this. Again, I'm sorry this has been kind of all over the place, but to sum up what you need to know, last year, Kimberly Alexander accused Tristan Thompson of being the father of her son. She called him a deadbeat dad. That's when him and Khloe sent her a cease and desist letter and also filed a libel lawsuit against her. And the reason why Khloe is involved is because Kimberly Alexander accused her and her family of having ties to the DNA lab where Tristan took his negative DNA test. Now, a year later, Kimberly Alexander was supposed to show up to court in accordance with that libel lawsuit, which is now why her and Tristan are more than likely going to have to go to court, and Tristan is now suing her. We have the number for $100,000. And on top of that, Kimberly Alexander is not backing down. She's still claiming that Tristan's the father of her son and still asking for that second DNA test. All right, you guys, I have so many thoughts about this and I really freaking need a shambong, so let's go ahead and pop off. Okay, you guys, I can't lie. When I saw these updates today, I was a little shook. I've been following these Kimberly Alexander allegations from the beginning, from the time that she went public last year. And the fact that we know now there's a number for how much Tristan Thompson is suing her for this libel lawsuit, the fact that he actually spoke out in a declaration to the judge in his own words is a big deal. And the fact that regardless of all of this, she is still claiming that Tristan is the father of her son. It is absolutely mind-boggling to me. You know, I really don't understand why at this point Tristan Thompson is refusing to take the second DNA test. That has always caused me to pause, because if you really are not the father of this child, I would be like, you can DNA test me until the cows come home. It's always going to come back negative. And if that's what you need to finally put this to bed and leave me alone, I'll do it. And the fact that he is not doing that is a little bit concerning, but I guess I can also see that he's probably so frustrated and now he's just, I guess, wanting to take her money even though he has plenty of money. I don't really understand how that's going to resolve the situation in any way, but then again, I don't understand 98% of the things that Tristan Thompson does. Truthfully, I have to hand it to Kimberly Alexander, because in the midst of all of this, in the midst of all of the legal threats, in the midst of all of the hate on social media, she has always stuck to her belief that Tristan Thompson is the father of her son. And honestly, while we don't know if he is or not, I really believe that in every fiber of Kimberly Alexander's being, she believes that Tristan Thompson is the father of her son, or else she would not be going to these lengths that she's going to in order to prove what she truly believes. And say what you will about her, there are very few people who are willing to go against the Kardashian machine, and Kimberly Alexander is one of them. Sydney Chase is one of them. And at the end of the day, I don't care how big of a Khloe fan you are, you do have to recognize that if these women are willing to go to the lengths that they're going to prove their story and prove their truth, it leads me to believe that they have to be right about something that they're saying. I don't know though, that's just my own personal opinion. I felt like Tristan Thompson's declaration was very meh. He didn't say anything that was really all that shocking to me. Of course he denied it. Of course, he's gonna play up like he's this great dad, and that if he was the father of her son, he would fulfill his fatherly duties financially and otherwise. But yeah, I don't know. I still just don't know why he won't take this second DNA test. It makes absolutely no sense to me why he wouldn't do it to just end it instead of taking this woman to court for $100,000. But yeah, it will be very interesting to see what happens from here. It will be interesting to see if Khloe Kardashian at any point speaks out about these allegations, especially because Kimberly Alexander has no problem calling her out. Like, I do feel at some point Khloe Kardashian is going to have to speak out about this, whether that's in favor of Tristan Thompson or not, because at the end of the day, she's chosen to be with this man. This is her person that she wants to be with. And unfortunately, someone like Tristan Thompson, allegations like this happen kind of a lot. So I feel like at some point, Khloe is going to have to speak out about Kimberly Alexander or even Sydney Chase, just something, because the silence is kind of deafening, and I feel like it's not going to be enough for people, and they're going to want to hear Khloe's side. Even if this alleged pregnancy happened way before her and Tristan knew each other, she's still choosing to be with this person, and there's a woman out there claiming that he's the father of her son and saying he's neglecting my child. That has everything to do with Khloe because she's choosing to be with him and he's the father of her child. It's just a whole freaking mess. It'll be very interesting to see what happens from here. It'll be interesting to see if they do go to court. It will be interesting to see if Kimberly Alexander fights Tristan Thompson on this, if he ends up taking the second DNA test. I just have so many things that I'm waiting to see happen. But yeah, these updates are just absolutely crazy, and that is all I have for you guys. And I want to hear your thoughts now on what we learned today about Tristan Thompson and Kimberly Alexander. What do you think about him suing her for $100,000? What do you think about his statement that he sent into the courts? Also, what do you think about her not backing down and still posting a message to him and Khloe on her Instagram? Let out all your thoughts and feels down below. While you're at it, please give this video a thumbs up. Please make sure you hit that subscribe button and don't forget that notification bell. For more celeb content, you guys can follow me on my Instagram. I do mini pop-offs Monday through Friday on my Instagram reels, and I'd be so thankful if you guys check those out. Also, for more celeb content, you can follow me over on my TikTok. I post fun things on there as well as celebrity news updates. Also, you guys can check out my merch store at houseofhill.com. And of course, I'll see you guys next time. Bye! Thanks for watching!